All right, the next one. I've never said this out loud. Higehiro. After being rejected, I shaved and took in a high school runaway. This one is the slippery slope anime.
It is, and I'm going to say this. If you're listening to this and you're not on Anchor, this is your spoiler warning for Higehiro. We are going to be talking about the first 2 episodes of it. So if you have not seen it, this gives you time to stop, pause, do whatever you need to do before we continue. Okay? Great. Now, on to what you were saying. This is definitely a slippery slope anime. And basically the premise of Higehiro, if you have not seen it, is...
It's basically the title.
It's basically the title. So basically there's this man, his name is Yoshida. He's 26 and he is an office worker. What does he do? We don't know because it's anime. He just works in an office and he has to pull a lot of late night hours.
I believe he's some type of developer or something like that. Probably a game developer knowing anime because they did some coding stuff. But that's neither here nor there.
Okay, well, he lives in basically a studio apartment. He's a true bachelor type dude. And he has a crush on his senior at work. Her name is Goto-san. And basically, the first episode starts out with him asking her out. And she's like, oh, I'm seeing someone. Ha, ha, ha. No, thank you.
Yeah, I've been in a relationship for the last 5 years. And he's been working underneath her for the past 5 years as well. Mm-hmm. So it took him 5 years to get up the courage to ask her. And then she's been dating somebody this entire time, apparently.
Yeah. And so... he gets drunk with his friend. His name is Hashimoto, and they work together. And basically, while getting drunk on his way home, he sees a girl sitting under a lamppost. And basically, she cons him into letting her stay in his apartment. Which, mind you, he lives in a studio apartment. He's got a kitchenette, a fridge, a closet, and a bed and a bathroom.
He's a grown 26-year-old male. And she's a
16-year-old high school student. So, slippery slope. So basically, the anime follows them as he takes pity on her because obviously he wakes up the next day. He's not drunk anymore. And he's just like, why are you here? And the beginning, I'm not even gonna lie. If you watch this, the first episode, the first half of it is kind of tricky. This is major spoilers. So if you don't want to know, just skip over this part, okay? 3, 2, 1. Here's the spoiler. The spoiler is homegirl is trying to seduce him the entire time, and he's just like, nah, I don't mess with teenagers.
Even when he was drunk, he
was dead drunk,
and he was like, no,
absolutely not. No way. But it is kind of cringy to watch how badly she tries to get him to have sex with her, and it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
but
she's not the type of dude.
Be prepared for that because that will, like, if you can get past that, it does get a lot better, I will say. Yeah. But we say it's a slippery slope because obviously you have an impressionable young girl. She's not 16, she's 17, I'm sorry. But you have an impressionable young girl and a grown man who are not related by blood living together in a studio apartment, essentially.
Yeah.
He sees her as like a child. Like he sees her as his child, essentially. Like, I need to be a guardian for this person because she clearly has no good sense in her head if she's house hopping by sleeping with random dudes.
Yeah. And it's just like, and it's apparent that that's basically what she's been doing because she doesn't have anything to offer. She doesn't have a job or anything. She's, I don't know, are they in Tokyo or Hokkaido?
I have no idea.
I think they're in Hokkaido and she's from Tokyo. Basically,
no, I think they're in Tokyo and she's from Hokkaido.
Either way, it's very far away. It's a big difference or whatever. And she's been away from her parents for 6 months. There's no missing child report out on her. She doesn't want to go back home, claims that her parents won't miss her or whatever.
She hasn't been to school this entire time and she's not working. So she's really just been like floating.
Yeah. And he's just like, that's no way for a child to live. It doesn't make any sense.
And
or whatever.
He's been trying to instill like core values in her, like have better standards for yourself.
Which is a good message, honestly. It's just the whole situation is kind of icky, but but at least he's trying to be a good
Samaritan.
Not even a good Samaritan, a good role
model.
role model guardian. He's trying to be a good guardian for this girl, and he's thinking that it's going to be temporary, and just until like she gets enough sense in her head to like realize what she's doing and
go back home,
fix herself, do whatever she has to do, but stop running away or whatever.
And I think what's important to note about this anime is we don't know yet if they're going to try to spin this as a romance, because it's been brought up, like his friend Hashimoto, because he told his friend Hashimoto about this. Everybody else doesn't know, but he's like, and Hashimoto, who's married, is like, hey, be careful. You might fall in love with her, or she might fall in love with you. You guys are living together. And you know, Yoshida is like, absolutely not. It's not possible. Which he says it in a way that it's not even like, okay, well, maybe he might or whatever. But he says it like straight up, like how you would expect a grown man to respond to someone telling him that he's going to fall in love with a senior in high school. And he's like got a full job, graduated college and everything. And he's just like, absolutely not.
Yeah,
you know?
he's not interested in her in that way at all. But, you know, but what the friend brought up, he's like, hey, but worse, you're taking care of her, you're being nice to her, helping her out or whatever, and she might fall in love with you. That could be just as bad.
Yeah.
You know?
So I'm interested to see where this goes, especially if they don't take the route of romance, which I really hope they don't, because that's like really cringy. Like, it's a 9-year age gap, which if you're 21 and 30, that's different than 17 and 26. So, just saying. But so far, I like their dynamic. I like that. How do I put this? I feel like this anime gives a lot of advice that people need to hear. If that's not too presumptuous of me, but like, have standards for yourself. Like, don't just think that every person who doesn't treat you terribly is a nice person. Like, no, he's like, I'm literally the bare minimum. And basically the situation, this is slightly spoilery, but not too spoilery. But basically the situation is, he smokes, right? And he lives by himself, so he normally smokes inside. But while she's there, he goes outside because, ooh, did you know secondhand smoke is actually worse than firsthand smoke?
Especially for younger people.
And so he's going outside, and she's like, oh, you're so nice. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like, this is very basic. Like, have some standards, man.
Yeah, those other guys were just...
words
garbage.
We don't use on the podcast.
They were just garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, I'm not good. I'm not nice. I'm just bare minimum guy. You know?
And he really is, you guys.
It's just like, he's not trying to do a whole lot. But, you know, she's like, well, I have to do something for you. I can't, you know, be here for free or whatever. And the whole her coming on to him thing, he didn't upset in the butt. He says, look, if you try any of that ever again, I'm kicking you out. It's over. Done. Capiche. You're out on the street. I don't care. You know, he's not having it. So she's like, I got to do something. He was like, look, you can clean up. You can cook. Because he's like, I work all the time. You know, it's just like...
he's basically like, I'm a single dude, and you saw what it looked like when you walked in here. So,
but she starts cleaning up, you know, starts making dinner.
And everyone at his job automatically assumes that, oh, he's got a girlfriend because he's leaving on time. His clothes are ironed. He's getting more rest because, you know, he's not drinking and working late all the time, and he's eating better food. And, you know, he's starting to, she irons his shirts for him. And so they're like, oh, you're taking care of your appearance now. Like, clearly you have someone in your life. And he's just like, nah, I really don't. I really don't.
Like, he also started shaving. And it's just like, when I read the title, I thought he was like shaved his head.
I thought he did too.
I thought he was going to be like a monk. I thought the story was going to be about like a monk that took in a high school runaway. And I was just like, well, okay. But, you know, it's not like that. He shaved his beard. He started shaving his beard every day or whatever. So he's freshly shaven all the time or whatever. He has more time now. Yeah. You know, he gets more sleep.
He has someone to point it out to him.
And he has someone to point out to him or whatever, you know. And his shirts are ironed because somebody else irons them. You know, it's not like he really hasn't changed that much. The only extra effort he's put in is shaving and getting off of work on a decent time.
Because he has someone who's making him dinner and who's by herself all day. And so he's like, instead of being here until 11 o'clock at night, let me go home.
Yeah. So he has a reason to go there.
Yeah. So I like it. I think it's a cute anime so far. As long as it doesn't take a turn for the cringe, I will probably continue to watch it.
Yeah, it was dodgy there, but it's giving me strong signs that Yoshida he's going to stay on the up and up.
And also, there are grown women at his job who are into him, and he's made it very clear that even though he got rejected, he's still very much into Goto-san, which I think is genuine. Like, when you like someone, and you've liked someone for 5 years, just because they rejected you doesn't mean you're gonna get over it the next day. Like, those feelings are still there, and I like that he voices that, and he's not like a whiny person. Like, how dare you do this, and this. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the most he was whiny was that first night he got rejected when he was drunk.
Which
After
is fair.
that, it was just like,
he got his feelings
It
hurt.
is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't complain about being rejected every episode or anything like that. He's an
really
actual adult about the situation.
He's an actual adult about the situation, and that's what I appreciate. And considering that, you know, I'm not getting any younger, and Mr. Otaku's not getting any younger, as to say Mr. Otaku, Ben's not getting any younger. You know, it's nice to see anime with older characters, because I'm actually 26 at the time of this recording. So the reason why I'm so like, ooh, that's cringe, is because I'm like, I can't imagine, like, if I wasn't married, but like being like, ooh, yeah, you should totally date a high school senior. Like, what? No, that's disgusting.
No.
That's disgusting.
That's horrible.
So, anyway, it's a good one. I would recommend trying it if you like a good slice of life that moves at a good pace, that could potentially have an interesting premise. If it sucks, don't blame us. We're just, you know, the reporters of a bipartisan discussion.
Yeah.
I don't know if those words actually make sense in that order, but I tried.
Whatever. These are our opinions on the first 2 episodes. We don't know how it's going to turn out.
Episode 3 could be totally cringe. I don't know.
Yeah, but as of right now, we're going to keep watching.
Yeah. So, on to the next episode.